Good afternoon to each and everyone. We warmly welcome all of you to today's Quality Assurance Support Program in partnership with Rex Education. We are truly honored to have your presence as we work hand in hand in strengthening our institutional systems, processes, and outcomes for quality education. This gathering marks another significant step in our commitment to excellence and continuous improvement. May this session bring meaningful insights, shared best practices, and a renewed drive to raise the standards of teaching and learning in our respective institutions. To begin our program, let us seek guidance and wisdom from the Almighty. May we all pause for a moment of prayer and to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
In respectful presence of our brothers and sisters across boundaries and faiths, let us all join in prayer and worship and gratitude and for guidance. Almighty and eternal God, we thank you for the gift of life and all its joys. We thank you for today, for all its challenges, in all its splendor. We thank you for the gift of one another. O God of infinite mercy and wisdom, only in unity with your will can all our toils have true meaning. Transform us into willing and able stewards of this world and its future. Bring us together to work with understanding and compassion. As we toil and grow weary, we pray for renewed strength and resolve. As we experience pain and sorrow, let us be reminded of untold good beyond. As we see pain and suffering, let us be instruments of your peace and extensions of your loving and healing hands. As we gather here today, bless us all that our collective knowledge be tempered and guided by your wisdom. Grant us clarity of vision to see the common good amidst all distractions. Endow us with humility and purity of heart to transcend all differences and reservations. When we leave this gathering, let us be the change we seek. As we endeavor to practice what we learn, let us be the good we want to see in others. As we work for our learners and their future, let it be that your will be done. In solemn silence, let us conclude with our own personal prayer.
Bayang mag-ibig, teras ng sinanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, buyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwalhating pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mang-aapi ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good afternoon once again, and welcome to episode 5 of our Quality Assurance Support Program webinar series with Rex Education. I am your moderator for today's episode. I am Dr. Maria Giovanna G. Abesha. Today's episode is entitled Policy and Governance. This afternoon, we will delve into the core of school operations and how school governance practices can improve systems, accountability, and school productivity. We are joined by seasoned educators and administrators who bring firsthand experience on what it takes to lead effectively behind the scenes. Allow me first to read the house rules. Please note that attendees do not have access to turn on their camera and mic. You may communicate with everyone using the chat tab. Please wait for the presentations to finish and wait for the acknowledgement before asking the questions. Use the Q&A or question and answer tab found at the bottom of your screen to ask questions. Please make sure to complete the feedback form to ensure your attendance. And now, one of the most exciting parts of today's webinar, our raffle giveaway. Here are the reminders. This is our simple way of saying thank you for staying with us and actively participating. We truly appreciate your time and engagement. If your name gets picked, kindly send your full name, contact number, GCash, or bank account details, and a valid ID to either Ms. Pauline Ann Encinares or Miss Rachel Ann Rogis. Their contact details are already shared on screen. Remember, this raffle is just a bonus. Our real prize is the knowledge we are gaining together. Good luck, everyone. So may I request now Miss Pauline for the raffle draw.
Thank you so much, Dr. Giovanna. So I will just share my screen po for the relay. All right, so good day, our dear educampions. We are excited to start our session today with a fun raffle. So we will be selecting 3 lucky winners to start us off, and we encourage everyone to please stay throughout this session. And for those who get picked, kindly click the raise hand button so we can easily spot you in the meeting. So let us start po with our first winner. For our first raffle winner, congratulations po, Sir Ranulfo Visaya. Sir Ranulfo, are you here po in the meeting?
Can somebody just say yes if you're around? Once again, Mr. Ranulfo Visaya, are you here? Yes, by the way, Miss Pauline, we have around 104 participants for today's episode. I hope
Thank you.
everyone is ready.
Yeah,
Is Sir Ranulfo is around?
I think po, Sir Ranulfo is not here po. Sige po. I'll just call another winner po. So again po, make sure po na nandito lang tayo sa meeting. Let us stick po until the end. Ang pinaka-open na lang natin ng third quarter, September. Opo. Congratulations po, Ma'am Maria Carmen Cruz. Nervous, Ma'am Maria Carmen. May I request po to please click the raise hand button. Ayan, I think po, Ma'am Maria Carmen is not here in the meeting po. Sige, I'll call another one po.
I think we should inform them, Miss Pauline, how much will be the cash prize.
Yes. So for
If
the
the-
cash prize, yes, Dr. Giovanna, thank you so much po. For the cash prize po, we will be winning po 500 pesos. Sir
Wow.
John Lor. Sir John Lor. Ayun. Sir John Lor, congratulations po for our first winner po. Ayan, nandito na po si Sir John Lor.
Okay,
So again
virtual.
po, make sure po to please send us po the your full name, GCash number, and then of course, one valid ID po. Thank you po. For our second winner, congratulations po, Ma'am Herminia Belgica. Ma'am Herminia, are you here po? Kindly click the raise hand button po. Ma'am Herminia. And I think Ma'am Herminia is not on the meeting po. I will call another winner po.
Dun sa 15 minutes na 6:10, yung 5 minutes dun sa 20 minutes, ibigay natin PhDs.
And congratulations, Ma'am Joyce Ann Magnay Javier. Ma'am Joyce Ann.
Oh, dikit-dikit. Oo, so parang kaya.
Ayan, I think Ma'am Joyce Ann Javier is here po on the meeting. So Ma'am Joyce, congratulations po. Kindly send us po your full name, GCash number, and one valid ID. And last po, for the first part of our raffle.
Dapat meron tayong background music, no? Para mas
Yes.
masaya kapag raffle draw. We have one last for the first set.
Ma'am Shirley Tan. Shirley Tan. Ayan. Ma'am Shirley Tan is here po in our meeting. Congratulations po for our first 3 winners. We will have another batch of winners po later po at the end. So please stick around po. Thank you po, Dr. Giovanna.
Okay, thank you so much and congratulations to the first set of winners. Ayan, palakpakan naman po natin ang mga winners. Virtual applause naman po and virtual applause na rin po dahil kompleto tayo ngayong hapon. We have around 109 participants. Thank you for being here. Now let's proceed. Before we move to our roundtable discussion, allow me first to give you the synthesis of the previous episode. Now, during the few weeks ago, we were able to discuss episode 1, which was about general overview of the quality education. Episode 2 was about PVMGO. Episode 3 focused on strategic planning and management. And episode 4 highlighted leadership, organization, and administration. During the episode 4, the panelists share that at the heart of every thriving school is a leader who knows how to balance both structure and inspiration. Imagine a school administrator who begins each day ensuring everything runs smoothly, checking if teachers are in place, supplies are ready, the budget is on track, and safety measures are observed. This is the management side of leadership. Quiet, steady, often behind the scenes, but essential. After leaders make sure the school is operational, they step into classrooms, join learning circles, and ask teachers how they can help. They talk to students about their goals and listen to teachers share their classroom wins and struggles. This is instructional leadership, the heart of driving learning forward. Additionally, to shape a school culture where everyone thrives, leaders do not work alone. They gather the team, they gather the teachers, the staff, even students, and start professional learning communities where ideas are exchanged and innovation is encouraged. They recognize good work, no matter how small, and give teachers the space and trust give teachers a space and trust to try new approaches. It was also highlighted or emphasized during episode 4 that parents and community members are not just observers either. The school head invites them in. They form planning committees and listen to learning ideas or listen to the ideas of the team. The leader makes sure everyone feels the ownership in the school's success. The panelists also cited that in every decision, whether choosing a new method or organizing a school event, the leader or this leader looks back at the school's vision and mission, making sure actions reflect shared values. They gather feedback, they use data, and adjust strategies as needed. In this way, the school becomes more than just a place of learning. It becomes a community guided by a leader who manages with clarity and leads with the heart. And through their example, teachers feel empowered, students aim higher, and the whole school moves forward together. For this episode, we have four major questions which will be answered by our panelists. Next slide, please. Now, allow me to introduce our respective panelists for episode 5. The first panelist is currently serves as Vice President for Operations at the Holy Cross of Davao College. As VPO, he leads critical areas including institutional quality assurance, human capital development, information systems, and operational planning. Notable accomplishments is the certification of HCDC to ISO 21001 2018 in 2024. From aspiration to achievement in less than a year. He also serves as the private sector representative for the Academe at NEDA's Regional Development Council 11 for the second term, from 2023 to 2025 and 2025 to 2028. With around 25 years of leadership experience in both corporate and academic sectors, he is known for his people-centered, values-driven approach to organizational growth, quality assurance, and regional development. Please help me welcome, let's give him a virtual round of applause, Mr. Romel Rome Momo. Good afternoon, sir. Any opening statement for our participants?
Good afternoon, everyone, and looking forward to a wonderful session this afternoon.
Thank you. Our second panelist is a dedicated educator and ELT specialist with over 30 years of leadership experience in basic and higher education. She has held key academic administrative roles at Ateneo de Zamboanga University and the University of San Carlos, leading initiatives in curriculum reform, policy development, and faculty formation. She has also served internationally as an English language consultant at the National University of Lao, where she developed an intensive English curriculum for medical professionals. She is also the co-founder of the Teacher's Pet Project and has contributed to nationally significant programs such as the Mindanao English Language Education Enhancement Program, Improving English Language Teaching and Learning in Mindanao, and the Developing Culturally Sensitive English Materials for Madaris in East Asia Project, recognized with the LTEX Innovation Award in London. She also holds a BS Ed in English from Ateneo de Zamboanga University, an MA in Basic Education Teaching from Ateneo de Manila University, and a certificate in Communicative Teaching of English from Lancaster University, UK. As a seasoned PAASCO accreditor with over 39 visits, she offers valuable insights into leadership, governance, and quality assurance anchored in faith, service, and a systems-oriented approach to educational transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, our second panelist is Ms. Janet A. Fernandez. A big round of virtual applause, please. Any opening statement, Ma'am Janet, for our participants?
Good afternoon, Ms. Bana. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to share this space with fellow educators and school administrators who care deeply about improving our institution. So looking forward to a very heartwarming discussion later. Thank you.
Thank you. Our third panelist is a highly dedicated educator where she implemented key programs aimed at bringing out the full potentials of our young learners. With her advocacy of championing the Filipino learner, she is a national PAC certifier, a reading consultant, and has been the DepEd FAPE trainer in English, CHED trainer in English language proficiency, and the DepEd Division City of San Fernando trainer in English proficiency training program. Her wide range of experience as an educator has been strengthened in her educational and cultural exchanges to countries like Thailand, Singapore, and Japan. Her excellence as an educator has earned her numerous awards as the Outstanding Fernandino 2025 in Education in the field of administration, the PERAAS 2015 Most Outstanding Administrator, the 2013 Most Outstanding School Head in the Jesus S. Lazatine Foundation Awards of Excellence, the 2011 Most Outstanding School Principal, and the 2007 Teacher of the Year. She attended the Executive Doctorate in Education Leadership Program at the Development Academy of the Philippines. She is also, at present, in pursuit of her PhD degree in Educational Management at the University of Assumption. Ladies and gentlemen, our third panelist is Ms. Edita Q. Sagmeet. Welcome, Ms. Edita. And do you have an opening statement for our participants for this afternoon?
Thank you, Dr. Giovanna. For my part this afternoon, since this is policy and governance, I will try to do my best to look into the aspect of our educators, our dear teachers, their perspective on the area of policy and governance.
Thank you very much for being here and for sharing your valuable time. Today's roundtable discussion focuses on, next slide please, focuses on policy and governance, particularly how operational systems management practices and innovations influence the overall performance of our schools. For this session, we have actually 4 major questions. Next slide, please. And we encourage everyone to type their questions in the Q&A chat box. Our panelists will be happy to respond to your queries at any time during this 2-hour session. Don't hesitate to interact. Let's make this session engaging and meaningful for all. Now let's begin. Let's have our first question. What are the essential functions of operations management in an educational institution, and how do they contribute to the overall school efficiency? Now, we will begin with, of course, with our first panelist, Sir Rome. Go ahead, Sir Rome.
Thank you, Giovanna. So for my sharing, thank you so much for the question, by the way. And it's an important one that often gets overlooked in the daily rush of school life. So I'd like to take the next few minutes to respond by highlighting some key theories that support quality assurance, specifically within school operations. My goal is to give our participants practical and relevant frameworks, tools that you can take with you to better understand the value of operations as a core part of delivering quality education. So I will be discussing the slide prepared for this. The good news is these theories are universal, whether you're managing a small private school or a large public institution, the principles still apply. Let's begin with something that often happens behind the scenes, but makes a huge difference in the life of a school. We're talking about operations management. When we say operations, we don't just mean fixing classrooms, maintaining internet connections, or organizing supplies. From a public governance and policy lens, operations is about aligning people, processes, and resources with your school's larger mission. This is to ensure access, equity, and quality in education. Think about all the functions that fall under school operations: facilities, HR, IT, even security, logistics, and sustainability. These are often called support functions. But let me challenge that term, because in reality, they are pillars. They uphold everything we're trying to accomplish in teaching and learning. Even the most well-designed curriculum can't succeed if classrooms are unsafe, systems are outdated, or staff morale is low. To understand this better, let's ground ourselves in 2 foundational theories: systems theory and the total quality management, also known as TQM. Systems theory helps us see a school as an open system. Everything is interconnected. That means operations cannot be separated from learning outcomes. Every function must work together to meet internal goals and external expectations. Then there's total quality management, which emphasizes continuous improvement and stakeholder satisfaction. It's about getting better every day in every way, And that includes how we manage facilities, technology, and people. Let me give you an example, a simple one. Clean, well-maintained classrooms, that's operations. Fast, error-free enrollment that makes students and parents feel welcome, that's also operations. These experiences shape how students feel and perform. Now let's link this to governance. Good governance means operations must be embedded in quality assurance systems. That includes planning based on real data, managing risks proactively, and ensuring compliance with national standards and policies. Frameworks like the Philippine Quality Award and the ISO 21001:2018 standards show us clearly that operational excellence is not just a technical concern. It's actually tied directly to student outcomes. Schools with strong internal quality assurance systems, or IQAS, regularly audit their operations. They ensure that safety protocols, labor laws, and ethical standards are followed. More importantly, they help leaders make evidence-based decisions that build trust and long-term improvement. Now, another helpful perspective would be Michael Porter's value chain. In education, this reminds us that every operational activity, whether it's HR, procurement, or IT, should add value to the learning experience. Think about your HR department, for example. If they process appointments and benefits smoothly, teachers would feel supported, and that affects their motivation and performance, and that ultimately benefits the learners. So let's stop seeing operations as just a back office support. They are key partners in achieving academic excellence. Their work allows teachers to focus on teaching and students to focus on learning. For Philippine schools, for example, working toward accreditation or quality assurance, it's essential to develop strong operational governance. We can use benchmarks. We can track key performance indicators. We can engage our community. These are small but powerful steps that can yield big results. At the end of the day, operations is not just an expense, it's an investment, actually. And more importantly, it's a strategic enabler of the very values we promote in education: integrity, excellence, and service. So to recap my sharing, the three main theories we've discussed, systems theory, total quality management, and value chain, provide timeless principles that help schools' operations function at their best. And to ensure strong governance of these systems, we can refer to standards like the Philippine Quality Award Framework and the ISO 21001:2018. Doc Giovanni, thank you for the opportunity to share these insights. I hope that our participants will find this useful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Romy. That's for question number one. Of course, we would like to hear from the perspective of a school administrator. What best practices can you share based on our first question? Next is Ma'am Janet.
Thank you very much, Miss Vanna. For me, good governance, I'd like to start with this metaphor. For me, good governance isn't just about putting out fires. It's about making sure that we build systems that prevent those fires in the first place. It's about thinking ahead, setting things up well, leading with a sense of direction, clear direction. As school administrators, we're all familiar with the daily firefighting. I'd like to use this metaphor, whether it's responding to unexpected issues, easing a parent's concern, or quickly solving something that didn't go as planned. These are part and parcel of our everyday reality, the work that we do. But effective governance goes beyond simply reacting to problems. It's really about creating fewer fires to put out in the first place. It means putting systems in place that are proactive rather than reactive, systems that anticipate needs, prevent disruptions, and keep our operations focused and aligned with our mission. As a school leader, para tayong nanay sa isang eskwelahan parang nanay or tatay, no? That's how I've come to see our role as school leaders. We're not just managing the day-to-day, we're building and sustaining the systems that shape our students' learning environments. And to do that, we need structures that are clear, consistent, sustainable, and collaborative. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about solving problems as they come. It's about leading with foresight, purpose, and cultivating a deep sense of shared responsibility among our team. In my experience in basic education and looking at common patterns I've seen during accreditation visits, we often see schools with similar challenges. But what sets the successful ones apart is their ability to manage operations in a proactive and strategic way. It's about more than just putting out flames. It's about building structures that allow us to focus on long-term goals rather than constantly reacting to emergencies. If you would move to the next slide, please. In the interest of time, I will focus on 3 key points per question, drawing from my own experience in basic education and insights I've gathered during accreditation visits. And I believe many of these examples will resonate with you, my dear fellow administrators, and provide practical takeaways for your institutions as well. So we look at coordination and collaboration, policy formulation and compliance, and efficient resource allocation. We try to bring together key offices like the registrar, academic affairs, and student affairs through regular operational meetings. For example, ahead of every school year, we hold alignment sessions on the academic calendar, enrollment timelines, and section planning. These are really small problems that we always encounter at the beginning of the school year. This ensures smoother implementation of policies and reduce overlap or miscommunication. At our school, the operation team coordinates with the registrar, the academic affairs, and student services to ensure that the school year runs smoothly. When formulating the academic calendar, the team closely works with teachers to accommodate schedules of exams, parent conference, conferences, and extracurricular activities. This collaborative approach prevents scheduling conflicts and ensures a seamless school experience for our students and all the stakeholders. Now, when we look at the policy formulation and compliance, we need to set clear policies that guide every aspect of school operations, from academic planning to staff management. And compliance with educational standards and regulations ensures the school operates with legal and educational frameworks. So we check our license with DepEd, certifications, and all other agencies that we need to collaborate with to see to it that the educational standards and regulations are in place. So for example, in reviewing our student handbook, we invited input from teachers, coordinators, students, parents, reps, and legal counsel. This process ensures compliance with external regulations while adapting to the needs of the students and the staff. And we look at how we efficiently allocate also our resources, and ensuring resources, whether human, financial, or physical, they're allocated based on priority needs and help maximize the impact of limited resources. This requires continuous assessment and data-driven decision-making. So for example, department heads actively involved in budget planning. We prioritize classroom and lab equipment upgrades based on actual teaching needs raised by the faculty. So this collaboration ensures that our limited resources are used strategically. So that's it for now, Ms. Vanna. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I like your idea about proactive way of dealing with problems, right, Mom Janet? And I would like to ask our next panelist, Mom Edita, do you also do that approach in your school?
Yes, we do. Ma'am Janet mentioned about a process that is consultative. So it is very important that everyone has a say, everyone has a contribution, so that there is ownership among each and every member of the school community. So nothing is gray. It's very important that things are also very clear. So in that aspect, you would find the harmony in the organization, there is an understanding and ownership of everyone and what each and everyone can do and can contribute. That's how I see how Ma'am Janet explained with us and discussed with us, shared with us that aspect of the essential functions of operations management.
Okay, yes, Miss Edita or Ma'am Edita, you can now share your perspective as to operations management in your own school. Your
Thank
perspective
you.
as a teacher.
Yes, my perspective. I'd like to put in my shoes on the part of our teachers. In the previous episode, it was discussed and shared about leadership, organization, and administration. Actually, I find being a member of the school community, like being an educator, a teacher who faces students, first and foremost, our teachers, our personnel would want good leadership. A good leadership where there is a culture of excellence that we feel and we find, we experience, we are involved of that good leadership that has a strong culture of excellence in the school. Now, because there is good leadership, there is mindful leadership, there is a way to ease systems and procedures. It was mentioned by Sir Rommel that teachers having good systems, processes, and procedures, teachers can focus on their teaching, while students can focus on their learnings. So if there are ease of systems and procedures, the effort, the time that is given is maximized on where it must be and where it should be. So that's a good flow. That's a good process. Another essential function that I see when it comes to operations management, of course, the core of our existence in the educative process would have to do with curriculum, instruction, learning, and delivery systems. So that is very important. That's why we have to look at what are the tasks and responsibilities of our teachers, of us teachers, so we can focus on the teaching and learning process. How do we make sure that really we put enough time and effort, not just in the curriculum instruction, but as well as in the level of assessment and evaluation. These are learning delivery systems. For us teachers as well, if we are provided with facilities that would allow us to really put our time and effort in delivering instruction, now these facilities are not just there, but they function fully. They function fully. So we would not be addressing much of the concerns that would have to do with this facility. So management and functionality play an important core in our delivery of instruction. So a whole aspect of that would have to do also with the student support services. So are there appropriate student support services that would allow our students to fully engage, not just in the learning process, but as well as in the process of learning, wherein they are able to develop their life skills. And these student support services, just like what Ma'am Janet has mentioned, where look at the schedules. Are they overlapping? Does it provide some level of challenge or what we call stress on the part of us teachers and our learners and our students that it has become overlapping? And then are there the right support services? We have the student activity, we have the guidance services, well, this facilities management, which I mentioned a while ago. And both of our two panelists have already mentioned about the importance of communication channels. So I will be dwelling more on the organizational excellence. In the function of operations management, let's look at and let's be aware of the organization in the institution. Where do I channel my concerns? To whom will I channel my concerns? Am I doing it right when it comes to channels? Are there no overlapping of the organization and where to go to when there are concerns, or who can be accountable in all of these processes? So I think for my part, it's also very important that during the start of the academic year, let's be mindful and be aware of the organization. How does it flow? What are the functions of each and every organization at that? So those are my takeaways when it comes to the functions of operations management. Our next slide, please, will dwell on the contributions. What are the contributions to overall school efficiency? When a school is maayos, okay, when a school is in place and as much as we can, it's organized, it fosters a culture of excellence and sense of pride. So for us teachers, we take, we value, we claim, there's an ownership of that culture of excellence, and it's a sense of pride that we are in a good school. We are in an organized school. Definitely, having that culture of excellence and a sense of pride builds a positive environment in the school community from all the levels and areas of our stakeholders. I mentioned this, that systems, processes, and procedures are clear. There are no gray areas. They are written and they are being implemented, and that they are in place. And because of that, it improves productivity. It delivers quality educational services, and there is satisfaction from our stakeholders. And there is an efficient resource allocation. Now, this efficient resource allocation also drives for sustainability, because as private schools, sustainability is very important for us. And finally, it ensures that there is accountability, given that I mentioned the organizational excellence, knowing the duties and obligations of each and every segment in a school institution. There is organizational excellence, and that one knows that the accountability of his function and objectives. So
Hey,
thank you.
yeah, thank you very much, Ma'am Edita. Well, just to wrap up our first question, kahit sino po sa inyong tatlo pwedeng sumagot, ano, just one statement, 1 to 2 statements, no? How do you ensure that policies are both participatory and responsive to the needs of the school community? Just to wrap up our first question,
Yeah.
follow-up question ko lang po yon. Kahit sino sa inyong tatlo pwedeng sumagot.
Okay. Madam Moderator, I'll take
Yes, Sir Romy.
in one word, I would like to say it should be alignment. I think that's the cue for the first question on how we can make sure that this is all policies, procedures are in place and working well. Thanks.
Thank you very much. In other words, you are saying, Sir Rome, that operations management is vital in ensuring that school resources, processes, and systems are effectively organized and utilized.
That's
Thank you very much. So let's proceed to the next question. How can schools optimize their budget, facilities, and staffing to improve productivity and sustainability? We will again begin with Sir Rome.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Giovanna. So optimizing resource allocation is actually a great conversation topic that is both practical and strategic. Now, let me walk you through some key theories and principles that can guide schools towards smarter resource allocation. But first, let's take a step back and reframe how we think about school operations. Too often, and this is common, we view operations as day-to-day tasks like managing the budget, hiring staff, maintaining facilities. These are what we call the business as usual stuff. But these are not just support functions. Each of these decisions contributes directly to our mission as educators, like ensuring student success, institutional integrity, and even community impact. From a policy and governance perspective, that means our operations must be aligned with strategic goals, key performance indicators, and most importantly, the actual needs of our stakeholders. We're referring to our students, the parents, the faculty, and the broader community where we operate. Now, in the Philippine education setting, this calls for more inclusive governance structures and smarter data-informed decision-making. Schools need to move away from operating in silos. Siloed functions like HR, highly specialized like ICT, or even facilities tend to act independently, which can lead to inefficiencies or even missed opportunities. Instead, we need to view them as interconnected parts of a governance ecosystem, one that works in sync to support learning, build institutional integrity, and deliver results. This is where the resource-based view, RBV, comes in handy. This theory, often used in strategic management, tells us that organizations such as schools can develop a competitive advantage by identifying and using their unique internal resources effectively. In a school context, these resources could be the deep expertise of our teachers, our campus's physical layout, our digital infrastructure, or even strong partnerships with local industries and even the LGUs. Conducting a capability audit, a thorough look at what our school already has, can help leaders decide what to invest in, what to consolidate, and what to reallocate. Let's say you have an underused classroom, underutilized. With a little creativity and community collaboration, that space could be transformed into a TESDA-aligned training hub, supporting both student learning and community development. Or perhaps you have a strong ICT support. You might invest in developing a centralized school management system that improves enrollment, grading, and communication. To ensure all of these investments are purpose-driven, I recommend looking into the Balanced Scorecard framework. This tool connects financial decisions to performance in four critical areas: financial management, internal processes, learning and development, and stakeholder satisfaction. Using this, schools can prioritize initiatives like upskilling faculty or implementing sustainability projects that offer both immediate improvements and long-term impact. For example, schools might allocate more budget for e-learning tools in underserved areas or strengthen audit systems to enhance financial accountability. These are not just operational decisions, by the way, they're governance strategies. Now, let's talk about transparency, another area. Whether public or private, schools need to engage stakeholders in the budgeting process in the context of resource allocation. This reflects the principles of Republic Act 9485, or what we call the Anti-Red Tape Act, for example, and echoes the participatory governance called for in the Basic Education Development Plan for 2030. When school boards, faculty councils, parents, and even students are involved in this budget allocation through the planning process, it builds shared accountability and trust. Another key area I want to highlight is sustainability, and not just in terms of environmental responsibility. Sustainability also means building operations that are financially sound and operationally efficient. Here, TQM offers valuable guidance. It emphasizes continuous improvement and process efficiency, both essential in long-term viability. Think about going paperless in admin work, using energy-saving technology in our buildings, or training staff for multifunctional roles. These are not only to reduce waste, they are also meant to enhance our school's capacity to respond to change and meet accreditation and quality assurance standards. So in closing of this sharing, let's highlight this. Operations management isn't just logistics, it's leadership in action. Done well, it enables schools to deliver on the promise of quality, equity, and excellence in education. And at the heart of it is the effective resource allocation, the thoughtful alignment of people, processes, and purpose. So thank you very much. And back to you, Ma'am Giovanna.
Thank you so much, Sir Romy. Sir Romy, you mentioned about stakeholder satisfaction. So based on your experience po, Sir Rome, what strategies have you found most effective in ensuring high stakeholder satisfaction in a school setting? Just very specific situation po.
That's great. Thank you for that question, Dr. Giovanna. I can say that keeping the feedback loop as short as possible will allow you to engage your key stakeholders. For example, let's talk about the teachers. If your school operates in a semestral timeline or calendar, you implement a survey system that caters to that kind of shorter feedback loop. Meaning to say, all the feedbacks you can get this semester have the opportunity to make the changes in the next semester. So that's my practical view on it. Keep your feedback loop as short as possible so that you can come back to the stakeholder.
Thank you very much. Now let's have Ma'am Janet Fernandez. Ma'am Janet, same question though, parang transition lamang po ito before you proceed to your slides, Ma'am Janet. Do you also
Yes.
practice stakeholder satisfaction survey?
We do have that in place, Miss Van. No, usually it happens at the end of the school year where we try to evaluate the different student services of the school, facilities, and other operations to be able to generate feedback that would be helpful in terms of the strategic planning for the next academic year. So parang ganon siya. But I agree with Doc Momo, no? It has to be very simple. It has to be very concise because parents wouldn't want to answer lengthy questionnaires, and as much as possible it has to be friendly to them, na i-click lang, may mga choices na, and then there will be comments at the end that we will be able to generate qualitative and comments from them, no, for the improvement of the operations of the school.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's also listen some insights from Janet as to how do you allocate, how do you optimize the use of your resources.
This is a very interesting question, no? Very interesting topic. Because when you talk about resources, sometimes we only think about budget, about finance, no? But when we talk about resources, we look also at facilities. We also look at human resources. So how do we basically optimize the resource allocation? So we begin with evidence-based planning, inclusive decision making. Budget allocation should be aligned with strategic priorities, and they're supposed to be supported by cost-benefit analysis and performance data. Dun papasok yung data-informed decisions natin. So I'd like to highlight 3 things here. No? One is participatory budgeting. As an administrator, you have to look at the approved budget of the school year and how you're going to allocate this into the different services and programs of the school. So a well-defined and participatory budget process is central to optimizing resource allocation in schools. It begins with the preparation of clear budget proposals from different units, guided by the institutional priorities. So you look at your school improvement plan, you look at your strategic plan, and then evidence-based planning. Conducting budget hearings allows for open dialogue, and it ensures that proposals are aligned with strategic goals and promotes transparency. Sometimes kasi ang thinking ng stakeholders natin, lalo na yung mga teachers natin, hingi sila ng hingi. Ito yung gusto namin gawin for this academic year and all. Ang question ng administrator, is that aligned with the vision mission of the school? Are the programs that you are proposing and the attached budget proposal aligned with the vision mission of the school? So this inclusive approach fosters a sense of ownership and accountability among stakeholders. I think that's what's mentioned also by Doc Momo a while ago. When departments and personnel are involved in budget planning, they're more likely to use resources responsibly and work towards a common objective. I'd like to cite one particular example. At our school, we adopted a participatory budgeting approach when faced with budget cuts. We hold consultations with teachers to determine which areas needed funding most, such as classroom materials or staff development, the faculty development program. So, yun, no? Such a participatory process also allows for better identification of the needs. It reduces duplication and supports more strategic investments in terms of facilities, staffing, and programs. And ultimately, there has to be some kind of a structured budget cycle comprising of planning, consultation, approval, which is basically done by the BOT, and then implementation. And more importantly, there has to be some kind of an evaluation process in the whole thing.
It's 4 o'clock.
And this ensures that limited resources are utilized efficiently and sustainably, enhancing both operational productivity and institutional reliance. I'd like to cite one example for a data-informed decision making. No? Using enrollment projections, resource usage data, and feedback from stakeholders. You mentioned a while ago about satisfaction surveys and all. Ito dito pupasok yan eh. Feedback that we're getting from stakeholders, from teachers, from students, from parents, which will help ensure that resources are used where they are most needed. So the registrar's enrollment projections guide our staffing plans and room assignments. When we notice a trend in increasing enrollments in early grades, we proactively hire additional, for example, kindergarten teachers and prepare more flexible spaces for learning. That's facilities, no? The facilities office or the physical plant office assess which infrastructure projects were most urgent. And this collaborative process ensured that critical resources like teaching aids, classroom space, staff training are prioritized, while also making cost-saving adjustments like sharing facilities for extracurricular activities. Yung cost-cutting, cost-saving measures, no? In parallel, implementing prudent cost-cutting measures is essential for sustainability. This may include consolidating underutilized programs or energy-saving initiatives, or streamlining procurement processes, reducing paper-based transaction through digital systems, and conducting periodic staffing reviews to address redundancy or imbalance. However, cost-cutting should not compromise quality. Instead, it should be a part of a continuous improvement effort where savings are redirected to high-impact areas such as instructional quality or faculty development or support services. So later on, we transition to energy-saving, energy-efficient lighting like LED lightings, no, and move many internal communications online. For example, using printing memos, we now use Google Workspace for faculty updates, LMS, social media. These changes lead to reduced utility and printing costs and allow us to redirect funds toward student development programs. So yun siya, Miss Vanna. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Very interesting po yung number 3, cost-saving measures. And you said, Ma'am Janet, that when we do cost-cutting, we should not compromise quality.
Precisely,
Yeah, but
yes.
have you were you able to encounter tough choices when it comes to budgeting? Because we have here a related, this question is related to one of the questions posted by one of our participants. What is a concrete example of a mechanism or process a school could use to involve parents and students in budget allocation? So nandun na rin po yung cost cutting.
Yeah, I think for the involvement of the parents, no, like for example, when we do tuition fee increase, we do consultation meetings before we send out the proposal of the tuition and fees for the next academic year for approval for DepEd's approval. other examples that I can set, no, like I've mentioned about the internal communications, making them online using the LMS natin, no, it's costly. There's a cost involved, but we just have to make prudent decisions in terms of what would be the most effective LMS or workspace that would actually help uh, ensure that the operations would run smoothly for the next academic year.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Janet. Now let's also listen to Ma'am Edita's perspective though as a teacher. Uh, how to optimize the use of resources.
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Vanna. I'd like to take in the sharings of two of our regarded panelists. They have really put in the core and the explanation on how to go about the schools optimizing resource allocation to improve productivity and sustainability. While I was listening to our discussions, um, can you put on the slide, please? The next slide, please. On the part of the teachers, sometimes, or there can be a probability that when you bring in the word cost cutting, it takes a different impression on the part of the teachers or members of the school community when they hear the word cost cutting. Um, it is also very important to communicate fully what is the meaning of cost cutting or cost saving. That's why most schools have the strategic plan, so they would know where to prioritize and where to put the resources in. Or, well, it's cost cutting, but maybe if you use the word cost saving or you use the word cost efficiency, but it still has to do with cutting the cost. So it's really how to use the words and to communicate specifically to our dear teachers on this aspect. And Dr. Rommel mentioned about thoughtful alignment. This thoughtful alignment in terms of decision making when it comes to strategic personnel appropriation, that's the word that I use, are the number of teachers aligned to the number of students in the school? Are the number of non-teaching personnel or each and every office is aligned to the needed accomplishments or deliverables of the non-teaching personnel? So we look into that. When you what do you call this? When budget goes to professional development of opportunities, I mentioned about this way to enhance the productivity of our teachers. It provides a level of confidence among our teachers that they can deliver. Let's say it has to do with the learning management system or any digital initiatives that would come from the school. So the professional development opportunities allow them to grow, allow them that this process, they will be able to implement it and explore it without having much of the cost because they are prepared for it. And it was always mentioned the importance of efficient and effective utilization of resources and facilities. There were some good words that I have taken from our panelists, like good systems and procedures, right sizing, upskilling our faculty members, and what you call the shared stewardship and the shared sustainability. On the part of our teachers, we know that in this particular cost efficiency efforts of the school, there is an understanding that would come from us. So yung mga simpleng bagay lang po na, for instance, the classrooms are air conditioned, pero kung wala namang gumagamit, naka-turn off yung mga air conditioned units, or hindi bukas ng bukas yung doors ng mga classroom. And then it would contribute to cost efficiency that will benefit not just the school but as well as the entire school community. So yun lang yung mga shared stewardship and that shared sustainability. And if there are cost efficiency measures, these are fully communicated with each and every member of the school organization. So on the part of the teachers, they are able to explain this, like for instance, to the students. It would also lead to the achievement of the school's philosophy, vision, mission, and goals, because this is directly putting a good system to the school where the school's vision, mission, philosophy would have to do with stewardship, sustainability, protection of the environment. So all of this that would help in the optimization of the school resources.
Thank you, Ma'am Edita. You mentioned, Ma'am Edita, that schools should allot huge budget for teacher professional development. Am I right? Yes, for quality education, of course.
Yeah, considerable that there is really for faculty
Yes.
development.
Mm. And lahat po kayo dito, certifier, accreditor, and Sir Rommel is into ISO. Lagi po ba itong tinatanong during certification, accreditation, or ISO visits? Budget for teacher professional development. Or tinatanong niyo ba kung ilang percent sa total budget ng school na pupunta for teacher professional development? What's the, I should say, ideal percentage allocation? Sino po sa inyo pwedeng sumagot?
Yeah, Miss Vanna. It really depends, Miss Vanna, because the budget for a particular school year will really be based on the revenues of the school. Because if you have low enrollment, then that would mean you also have low income. And 70% of that income would go to the salaries of the teachers and the operations of the school. 40% lang yung mga ibang mga ano pa, no? So yung 40% kailangan i-allocate mo na yan eh. Parang ang nanay, nagbabudget ka sa pamilya mo. Magkano yung pang-tuition ng anak and all
Yeah,
this.
that's true.
Same manner, no? Kasi yung mga teachers natin, hingi ng hingi yan. Ma'am, gusto kong mag-attend itong seminar na ito. Gusto kong ganito, ganyan-ganyan. Titingnan muna talaga yung nanay, yung school head, yung administrator, si father, si sister, yung directress, no? Kung magkano yung pwedeng i-allocate, but there should be a sufficient enough funding talaga to support the professional development, because that is where when you expect quality education, you need to expect also quality teachers, and investing in professional development of the teachers, like professional development, letting them study, finish their MAs and all graduate studies, that would spell also the classroom instruction, improvement in the delivery of the classroom instruction.
Okay,
So,
follow up lang, Ma'am Janet, ha? Pwede pong sumagot dito si Ma'am Edita and Sir Rome. What strategies can you recommend for small or developing schools with limited funding? Is there let's say, an ideal maybe? Or ano bang pwedeng approach na gamitin nila para mas ma-optimize yung kanilang budget for small schools and developing schools? Baka may experience si Ma'am Edita and Sir Rome?
Yes, Ma'am Vanna, on this aspect, we have to be really aware that every school has a different context. So every school has different priorities and also limitations. We call budget limitations. So I would often be guided with when you say superior strategies with the minimum resources, as well as prioritization. So if this is the goal of the school, dito siya nagko-concentrate, ito yung gusto niyang ma-develop sa mga teachers, ito muna, one at a time level of concentration muna. And I would also say that if a school endeavors for something, preparedness preparedness and to really prepare the teachers in the development of something that would lead to the teaching and learning process. Meron naman tayong mga, what do you call this? We have uh, uh, we know people who can help us and at times these people can help us with not so much not so much budget really to burn. So
Okay,
in
thank
that
you.
aspect, okay.
Thank you, Ma'am Editha. Ito,
Ano,
we have a
Miss Vana,
question here from our chat. We have a question here from our chat box. Probably Sir Rome can answer this. How crucial is transparency in school operations? How crucial is transparency in school operations?
I would say it ranks high in the things that should be considered crucial because transparency in the perspective or in the context of operations, every stakeholder should know the situation or the condition of the school. So meaning to say, the stakeholders involved or engaged in the school operations should know and understand what are the number one priorities of the school. Number two, the performance of the school in relation to its economic drivers. I would like to highlight economic drivers because most of the schools that operate in our system, sans the budgeted ones, no, are reliant, dependent on tuition and other school fees. And that is driven by enrollment. So for us, if you are going to plan priorities, you should also know where those funds, resources are coming from. And that is where transparency plays a very crucial role.
Thank you, Sir Momo. Would you like to add something, Ma'am Janet, before we proceed to our next question?
I just wanted to add on to what Miss Edita mentioned. For small schools, no, I think it's important that you look first and foremost in the internal in-house faculty development program if you really want to see how much you would have to allocate for the professional development of the teachers. You need to identify the needs of the teachers, create a baseline data where you will be able to where are which areas do the teachers fall short, and that's where you capitalize, and then that's where you can be able to allocate budget. And I agree with Ms. Adita. No, there are you can network and linkage with companies and funding institutions to support the professional development of your teachers. But first and foremost, you cannot just simply rely on educational companies to support your professional development. You need to have an in-house faculty development program, because from there, you would be able to identify basically what the needs, basic needs of your teachers in terms of professional development. So yun lang, Miss Vanna. Thank you.
Thank you. Like what Rex Education is
Yes.
doing, right? They keep
Correct.
on supporting these schools to continue offering quality education. Now we move to our next question. Managing school operations certainly comes with challenges. So our third question is, what are the biggest challenges in managing school operations, and how can school administrators address them effectively? What strategies can be used to enhance quality control and ensure continuous improvement in school operations? So let's have once again, Sir Rome.
Okay, thank you, Doc Giovanna. It's an important topic to discuss, the challenges, and I'm glad that we're able to find time today to explore this in terms of the dynamics in school operations, especially in the context of quality assurance. So let's start by acknowledging a common challenge. In many Philippine schools, particularly those at the beginning of their quality assurance journey, decisions about three things: staffing, budgeting, and facilities are often made without strong data or clear performance benchmarks. And when that happens, even the well-intentioned plans can backfire. It can result in inefficiencies and missed opportunities. It becomes harder for schools to meet their academic targets or fulfill their mission. This is where theory and governance frameworks really help us zoom out and make sense of the bigger picture. One of the fundamental theories we can apply is systems theory. It reminds us that schools function in interconnected systems. Every part, from curriculum design and teaching methods to budgeting and facility maintenance, these are all linked. So when one part is weak or misaligned, it affects the rest. That's why it's critical that operations, pedagogy, and governance are not treated as separate silos, but are coordinated as one cohesive unit working toward common goals. We also have to be realistic about constraints. Many schools are working with limited resources. We have been talking about it: tight budgets, aging infrastructure, and very limited ICT capacity, for example. And these pressures are only growing as schools are facing new demands, for example, from accrediting bodies and the evolving expectations, for example, in the context of the fourth industrial revolution. And this is where total quality management offers solid guidance. TQM focuses on continuous improvement, active stakeholder participation, and evidence-based decision making. It encourages schools to build a culture of excellence, not by waiting for the perfect moment or condition, but by using what they have more effectively, more creatively. It's about doing better even in challenging contexts. Now, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked. We call this the alignment across departments. Even with the best strategies, if different units in the school are working in silos or don't share a common direction, execution becomes inconsistent. This is where the balanced scorecard comes in handy. Developed by Kaplan and Norton, the balanced scorecard helps schools translate big picture strategy into concrete, measurable actions across 4 areas. You talk about financial stewardship, student or stakeholder satisfaction, internal processes, and learning and development. When implemented properly, it ensures that every department, academic or operational, is pulling in the same direction. But beyond tools and beyond the systems, we also need to talk about people. Strong school operations depend on strong collaboration. Academic teams, support staff, parents, and even students all contribute to the success of our institutions. Participatory governance and distributed leadership invite more voices to the table and build a shared sense of ownership. When everyone feels they're part of the solution, reforms gain more traction and quality assurance efforts become more responsive and resilient. Of course, improvement doesn't happen in a single leap. It's an ongoing process that needs discipline, that needs feedback. That's where the Plan, Do, Check, Act or PDCA cycle comes in. This simple yet powerful model gives school leaders a way to test initiatives, to gather feedback, make adjustments, and repeat the process. Over time, it helps to cultivate a culture of learning and accountability. And when school partner with accrediting bodies or learning networks, they gain access to benchmarking tools and peer support systems that accelerate their improvement journey. So in closing to my sharing, managing school operations isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about leading with a systems mindset, using data wisely, and engaging people meaningfully. When we approach our operations this way, we don't just meet the standards, we raise them. And we do it together as a community committed towards outcomes for our students. Thank you for being able to share this, Doc Giovanna.
Thank you, Sir Rome. I like your statement, no? Sinabi niyo po kanina, continuous improvement requires discipline and consistency is the key. Do you agree, Ma'am Janet, our second panelist? Yes,
Yes,
Ma'am Janet.
yes, Miss Vanna. Thank you, Doc Momo, because you've set the foundation basically for the as an administrator. No? When I look at the question, when I looked at the question, challenges in managing school operations, there are some persistent challenges, and I have identified 3. again, no, limited resources, nandiyan talaga yan lagi eh. Pag wala kang budget, hindi talaga makakagalaw yung operations ng schools and the programs. And then you have the coordination gaps, no, the fragmented communications and resistance to change. Now, to address this, school administrators can institutionalize regular planning and evaluation process. For instance, periodic inter-office meetings allow for cross-functional updates, while internal audits and feedback mechanisms can help identify operational inefficiencies. And engaging teachers, for example, in curriculum review at the beginning of the school year, involving the finance team in policy costing, and conducting annual stakeholder consultations all contribute to stronger quality control and continuous improvement. And embedding some kind of an accountability measures, such as performance targets, you look back at your strategic plans, documentation protocols. Most of the schools, no, even our school, we are poor in documenting programs and the operations of the school. This is really something even accreditors would look into this. Laging binabanggit talaga ang recommendation, proper and systematic documentation of school programs and all. And of course, regular reporting that would ensure that systems remain transparent and responsive. Yung limited resources, no, the strategy here that we can use is, we mentioned this before already, participatory budgeting, cost saving measures, and relocating funds to higher impact strategies. Many schools operate within tight budgets, particularly those mga mission schools, ganyan, no? Which can affect staffing, facilities, and program implementation. So, to address this, we need to prioritize spending based on institutional goals. Look at your strategic plan, your school development plan, and then adopt cost-saving measures such as digital systems, energy conservation. I've shared this before, shared services across departments. There was one in one academic year, our school faced budget constraints due to declining enrollment. I think this is a very classic example. So to address this, we involve department heads in reprioritizing expenses through a series of budget hearings. We digitalized several administrative forms to reduce printing costs and shifted to energy efficient lighting in schools, which led to a 15% savings in utilities, wherein we were able to reallocate this to student support services and improve classroom facilities. So we were able to provide LED TV and air conditioned units in every classroom because of the savings that we had. And then the second one, the fragmented communication. You can establish clear, regular coordination meetings like the PLCs or departmental meetings, academic meetings, use centralized communication platforms, and clarify reporting lines. Previously, our registrar and academic team would often duplicate tasks during enrollment due to a lack of coordination. So we resolved this by instituting bi-weekly operations meeting involving key offices and introduce a shared digital dashboard to track enrollment progress. So this, we were able to streamline the process, reduce student complaints, improve inter-office collaboration, and we were able to monitor as well the enrollment figure based on the enrollment projection. So, yun, no? And then resistance to change, particularly the veteran teachers that we have. We need to engage stakeholders early and provide orientation or capacity building or pilot new systems before full rollout. I'll cite an example. When we introduce a new character, when we introduced a new learning management system and the digital grading system, many teachers were very hesitant to try it. We address this by selecting a group of early adopters from different subject areas, like a champion teacher in the different subject areas, to pilot the platform and share their experiences. So we also offered targeted training sessions and peer mentoring. As a result, the LMS adoption increased significantly within the first grading period, and gradually the confidence of our teachers grew and the system became widely accepted. Another example that I can cite is new policies or systems may push back faculty or staff. And to overcome this, the school leaders can engage stakeholders early in the process, explain the process, explain the rationale for the changes, and provide capacity building sessions to support smooth implementation. So for instance, involving teachers in policy formulation or conducting pilot testing before a full-scale rollout can increase buy-in and reduce resistance. So these are some of the examples that I can think of, Ms. Vanna, to be able to address the challenges that we faced in managing operations, school operations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have here a question. Siguro isasagutin na lang po natin ito after Ma'am Edita's sharing or insights. So, Ma'am Edita, na-mention po kasi ni Ma'am Janet kanina yung resistance to change. Naging teacher naman siguro tayo, naging plain teacher tayo. Na-experience niyo ba yung naging resistant ka to change? And how are you able to overcome such feeling? Yes, Ma'am Edita?
May not be resistance to change, but how the change is being managed and implemented. So actually, I really wrote in yung nasa slide ni Ma'am Janet na resistance to change. So if you look at my next slide, on the part of our teachers, in the way I would look at how being a teacher would go through the process of change, kindly go over that part of the slide. I also would like to acknowledge the sharing of Sir Rommel. Napaka-strong po ng mga inputs na binigay ninyo. While the theories are there, but they point out clarity of good planning and good systems, processes, and procedures and how to go about it. So I will kindly on the next slide po. Lumalabas yung next slide sa akin. Okay, so nasa akin, biggest challenges in managing school operations, the resistance to change and difficulty. It becomes difficult when how does the change being implemented by the management? So that poses a challenge on the part of the teachers because we need to be walked through with that change implementation. We need to be supported even while being challenged. We need to be inspired and motivated and empowered and championed as well. We want to feel all of those elements in the management and implementation of change. In that way, we will not resist the change. Gusto namin na akayin kami. At one point naisip ko, wag mabilisan. Siguro in the initial stage of the implementation, mabagal muna. But after the 30% or nasa 30% na of the implementation, pwede nang bilisan ng konti hanggang sa pabilis ng pabilis. Pero during the initial process, medyo nandun yung pag-aakay sa aming mga teachers on how to go through the implementation when it comes to changes. That's why it challenges us, the emerging changes in the curriculum. We were trained for this. We will be trained for another. There will be a new curriculum. We're just fitting in with the last guidelines pertaining to the curriculum. Now there's a new one. So nakakahingal din on the part of the teachers. And then, yes, we were provided with the faculty development program or the teacher training program, but you need to experience implementing it in the classroom in such a way that you would know how to go about it yourself. So we would also need that level of confidence as well as the mastery. And given the dynamism of education, may pusong teacher. So yung pusong teacher, we want quality and excellence. Bilang mga guro, kaya kami naging mga guro kasi andyan kami para talagang to ensure na hawak namin. Ibibigay namin yung consistency ng quality of education and its excellence. But it has become even more challenging after the pandemic. That's why I place in that word relativity. So 3 words actually: relativity, relatability, and relevance. Ang hirap. Ang hirap, lalo na we have senior teachers, we have junior teachers, and we have these students now who are highly digital. So how can we be relevant? How can we be relatable? Paano ko maiintindihan yung pinagdadaanan ng mga students? Or how do I work with a young teacher? Or how do we present ourselves as educators, being part of the school community, to be walking with pride that we're holding the consistency of quality and excellence in education? But we want our children to be 21st century learners. But am I? I was not in the generation of that 21st century learners. Those digital innovations that we have. So I want to be I want to carry that relativity. I want to have that relatability, and I am relevant as a school. And this makes me challenge when I am a school with a limited resources, but I want to be relevant. I want that if I see this in good schools, how I want and wish and pray for that I can offer even more in my very own school. So this is what challenges us teachers. And that sustainability, we are private schools. You see out there that there are also competitive salaries and benefits, but I love the school where I am. I love the school culture. I have given myself in this school, and I love my students. So these are challenges as well. But when you look at also our teachers, they are mothers, they are fathers, they are breadwinners. So sustainability, competitive salaries and benefits would also allow us teachers to really balance that. So to me, on the part of the teachers, these are challenges for us in the operations management or in leadership and governance. What are the strategies for quality control and continuous improvement? Next slide, please. Of course, the way I experience it, the quality assurance initiatives. The quality assurance initiatives of the school allow us for continuous improvement. It builds that strong commitment among us teachers when it comes to excellence, and a clear vision and directives that would come from our leaders in our school organization. We stay in a school where we feel comfortable. We stay in a school where we feel regarded and important. We stay in a school where we have good relationship between each and every one of us. So the strategies for quality control and continuous improvement is a culture of excellence that builds a sense of pride. I know for myself that I would want to contribute. If my charism would have to do in the area of instruction, then I take a great role in contributing on that aspect. The growth mindset or the professional growth that I experience in the school that foster a culture of excellence, and that I feel that sense of pride, fulfillment, and commitment, that allows me for continuous improvement and would inspire me to embrace quality assurance initiatives. Of course, we already mentioned about professional growth and development, as well as the involvement of our stakeholders. So those are my key takeaways in this question number 3.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Edita. Though before we jump to our next question, our last but not the least, number 4 question, we have here a question from one of our participants. I think nasagot na po ito ni Ma'am Janet kanina. And Sir Rome as well as Ma'am Edita, but maybe you could elaborate further, no? In the face of increasingly constrained resources, what innovative strategies have you seen schools successfully employ to optimize the allocation of budget, facilities, and staffing? Could you elaborate on how data analytics or predictive modeling can play a more significant role in achieving both productivity and long-term sustainability in educational operations? I think Ma'am Janet is typing the answer, but maybe you could answer it live, Ma'am Janet, or maybe one of you, Sir Rome or Ma'am Edita, for this question from our
Um,
participants.
sure. I'll have a quick answer to that
Very quick,
question.
yes, yes.
That's a very good question, and it touches a lot of pragmatism there. Consider the school's carrying capacity in your predictive analysis because you are not increasing the number of classrooms. You have a definite carrying capacity. Consider that. Consider also the data of your first year enrollment. Use that. And also the year-on-year attrition of your students. And integrate that in your predictive model. Then you can have a more, shall we say, market-based approach to your projections. So that's a quick answer there.
Thank you. We have here another one. Maybe Ma'am Edita can answer this. As a new school head, I'm keen to understand the perspectives of our experienced teachers on communication. What frequency of direct principal check-ins or meetings do you, as a teacher, most find appropriate, considering your primary responsibilities, daily, weekly, monthly? Given the existing structure with department coordinators, is that channel often adequate for information dissemination? My aim is to be supportive without being redundant or taking excessive time. What frequency of direct principal check-ins or meetings do you find most appropriate as a teacher?
While you mentioned about frequency, it would always depend on the school culture and a school need. But with the way I see it, those that can be put in the memo can be disseminated through the memo. But those that can be done through a meeting for collaboration, consultation, must be done in a meeting. And in such a way that these are done after most likely not affecting the school hours or school classes. So that's just how I see it.
Thank you. So finally, let's talk about how technology has reshaped operations management. In the digital age, schools have more tools than ever to streamline systems. So how does technology impact operations system or operations management in schools, and what innovations can be implemented for better efficiency? Sir Ro?
Thank you, Doc Giovanna, for that question. So in many Philippine schools, we are seeing growing interest in digital transformation. But it's important to remember transformation must be rooted in sound policy and good governance. Otherwise, we risk adopting tech for tech's sake without the long-term impact. A helpful framework to start with is still TQM, Total Quality Management. It reminds us that quality isn't a one-time achievement. It's a continuous process. TQM is really about building a culture where we're always asking, how can we improve this process? How can we serve better? So TQM is one of those pillars. When schools apply innovation and data-driven thinking across all aspects of operations, whether it's on enrollment, budgeting, or faculty performance, they create a system that's not just efficient, but resilient. And this is where leadership and governance come in. Schools need policies that actively support ethical, inclusive, and strategic integration of digital tools. That includes everything from managing facilities, handling budgets, and streamlining HR to enhancing how academic services are delivered. So where do we start? A practical entry point is the school management system or SMS. These are integrated platforms that help with tasks like enrollment, class scheduling, grading, and internal communication. Now, that may sound simple, but think about the time and energy we save when we automate routine processes. SMS reduces administrative burden, minimizes errors, and most importantly, allows us to redirect energy towards teaching and learning. Let's bring in also the theory of constraints here. We're talking about bottlenecks. This theory encourages us to identify bottlenecks in our system. What are those examples of bottlenecks? Are we still relying on manual attendance logs? Are our reports always delayed? If your answer is yes, then these are examples of constraints that prevent efficiency. Tools like cloud-based dashboards or automated generated reports can help unlock those bottlenecks. Now, let's look at the bigger picture through the lens of systems theory. Schools are not just a collection of departments or offices. They are interconnected systems. What happens in HR affects classroom delivery. What happens in IT affects student services. More often than not, we engage the services of a software in our respective functions, only to discover that it cannot be connected or compatible with the other system or software being implemented in another department. So that is one example of a challenge in terms of interconnected systems. So when we upgrade one area, say we implement a digital gradebook, it can improve parent communication, reduce backlogs in registrar's work, and help principals track performance in real time. And here's something exciting. We have just, in the question earlier, predictive analytics. When schools use this, actually, they are not just tracking current student outcomes. They can forecast trends like enrollment dips, resource shortages, or even dropout risks, allowing for better planning, budgeting, and accreditation readiness. For example, it is common for us to project 10% increase every year. But is that the relevant approach these days? Maybe we can start integrating the, shall we say, attrition. How many left the program during the year? And use that as your forecast. And also integrate in your forecast the number of schools or the number of classrooms available or laboratories that define the carrying capacity of your school. Then you have a very robust approach than just merely projecting 10% of increase every year. That is how predictive analytics can help us. So it's not just operations that benefit. Human resources, faculty development are transformed too by technology. We now have digital performance evaluation tools, online learning trackers, and HR information systems. These make it easier to manage accountability, performance goals, and professional growth. And through the serve qual model, we're reminded that quality service matters. As we bring in more tech, we must make sure we are also enhancing and not complicating the experience of our teachers, of our staff, of the students, and even the parents. The ease of use, the responsiveness, and the reliability still matter. So to make all of this sustainable, we must embed technology into our quality assurance frameworks. That means setting clear policies on data privacy, conducting system audits, and involving stakeholders in shaping our digital direction. It's also wise to align with national efforts like DepEd on their Digital Rise program, or even CHED with its flexible learning strategies. These provide a policy backbone and ensure that we're not only innovative, but also compliant and forward-looking. So to end my sharing, integrating technology into school operations isn't just about making things faster or easier. It's about creating a culture of continuous improvement where every decision is supported by evidence and every tool is used to promote excellence and equity in education. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Rom. For Ma'am Edita and for Ma'am Janet, request ko lang po, paki-align nyo na lang yung inyong presentation with the questions that with this question that we have in our Q&A box. How can schools move beyond simply adopting technology and truly integrate it in a way that fundamentally transforms operations management for better efficiency? Parang nasagot na rin po ito ni Sir Rom kanina. Please elaborate na lang further, Ma'am Janet and Ma'am Edita, what are some cutting-edge technological innovations that you believe hold the most promise for the future of school operations, and what are the key considerations for successful implementation and adoption? Please, Ma'am Edita and Ma'am Janet.
Yeah, yes, Miss Van. I think even the examples were Doc Momo mentioned them already in toto in general. So I think what I would just like to add would be to maximize the impact of technology, the schools must invest in digital training and ensure that all stakeholders, from teachers to the administrative staff, all the stakeholders in the school, are equipped to use this infrastructure and tools effectively. Kasi sayang naman kung mag-i-invest. Yung tanong kanina, ano yung mga cutting edge na tools na pwedeng gamitin? Marami, no, marami. I wouldn't want like to mention one because that would be promoting a particular a company or a brand, no? But I think what the administrators could do is to really scout out, to study, but basically look first at what the need of the school is. Kasi baka mamaya, di ba, nagbe-benchmark tayo ng ibang mga schools, nakikita natin itong magandang practice, best practices sa isang school, using the learning management system or the SIS or the HR platform, dashboards and all. But do your school, is it a need for your school? Maybe you could start I think what I could share is maybe you could start at basic things like school mobile app where parents can view their child's grade, for especially for the small schools, no, view their child's grades or schedules and announcements in real time. And there are many platforms like the social media. Most of the schools use the social media, but again, as Doc Momo reminded us, we need to take into consideration the policies of the school in terms of data privacy. So go online with memo to save paper and all, no, but look at what the need of the school is first before investing into something. Otherwise sayang eh. You have a very expensive, high cutting edge process or system, but is it what the school needs? So if you want to automate and do some data management, look first, research first, conduct surveys with the parents, with the stakeholders, what the school needs, and then from there, work on what particular data management system or student information system would best serve its purpose to provide efficiency and effective operations in the school. So yun siya, Ma'am Vanna. That's kasi
Thank
yung
you.
iba na-explain na ni Doc Momo, no? The
Yes, yes.
good communications and real-time monitoring, the analytics and all. So yun lang, very practical. Check what the school needs first, and then
And of course, let us also be very clear about this, Ma'am Janet, that this technology really requires huge investment.
yes, they're expensive. That's why when you invest in these technologies, make sure that you really need them, and then that there are trainings and capacity buildings that you would have to provide, not just to the teachers, but to the administrative staff, to everybody, so that they will be equipped really to use and maximize really these infrastructures or the tools effectively.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Janet. So let's hear from Ma'am Edita.
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Janet. They were all mentioned already by Dr. Rommel, and also explained by Ma'am Janet. I actually would like to skip on my slides because they already explained them. But these are my deepened takeaways on what I got from Dr. Rommel, Ma'am Janet, and Ma'am Giovanna. First and foremost, one, a good guard on investments in technology. Kasi these investments are very expensive. So pag-aralang mabuti. And then nakikita natin din, when it comes to technology, lalabas siya in the initial stage, in the initial phase, mahal yan. Pagkatapos biglang may lalabas na kamukha niya, yung ganyan, mas efficient, mas less cost. So parang ma-overwhelm ka with your investments in technology. So take that good guard. And also, we have experts in our schools to guide us or to look at well our investments in technology. Pag-aralan nating mabuti. And let's also look at, meron din mga free, baka katapat din siya ng may cost, or it depends on how the teachers need it and how it is being implemented in the school. So napaka-importante ng good decision making, good planning when it comes to investments in technology. And then as I skip on my slide, because these were already explained, on the part of the teachers, how does technology impact operations? On the part of us teachers, and even our personnel who have to answer emails, who have to answer messages, please clarify to the stakeholders some implementing guides, that there is a good balance. I would say that there are business hours or there are school hours. There is a time schedule on how I need to answer the messages, the emails, and all that will impact me as a teacher when it comes to this technology, which some of our seniors teachers do not have in the past. Like, kailangan ko ba bang sumagot ng 2:00 a.m. sa mga messages, yung mga ganyan? Kailangan ko bang sagutin ang email if I am a school personnel, a registrar, in the admissions process ng 3 a.m., ng 6 a.m.? So pagdating ko sa school, mulat na mulat yung mata ko, puyat na puyat ako kasi I did the work 24 hours. So this is what I need as a teacher and as a non-teaching personnel for schools to look at and to see what level of implementing guides must be followed by the stakeholders, by our parents, by our students. Kapag ba may kailangan i-clarify yung student, okay lang ba? Dapat ba sumagot? Because our teachers, dire-diretso lang sila. So if not with an implementing guideline, we also have to take good care of our teachers and our personnel when it comes to health and wellness, a well-balanced life na yun nga, sumasagot ng emails, ng messages, 11:00 a.m., Saturday, Sunday, holiday, at any time. So I would need an implementing guide on how I would answer, given that there are different ways and means in technology to communicate with the stakeholders and specifically to the students' needs, to the parents' needs, or even some directives that would come from our administrators at any time, at any moment. So my good takeaway there is health and wellness and a balance life on the part of the teachers as well as the non-teaching personnel in a school organization.
Thank you, Ma'am Editha. I can relate to that. Iniiwasan po natin sumagot ng mga emails beyond 5:00 kasi may buhay din tayo mga teachers beyond 5, di ba? Our
Learn to
personal and social needs, we have to attend to all those things. Okay, I think tapos na tayo sa ating 4 questions. I think we have one question here that needs answer. Pwede po sino sa inyong tatlo ang pwedeng sumagot dito? May I please ask for, although na elaborate yun po ito kanina, pero baka meron pa siyang hinahanap pa na sagot, ano? May I please ask for an example or experience wherein teachers' needs were identified? What strategies or tools did you utilize to identify their needs? And how did the administrators respond despite scarcity of financial resources? Maybe Ma'am Janet can answer, or sino sa inyong tatlo po? before we end our session? Sino pwedeng sumagot?
Okay, ma'am, I'll take the first
Example.
Yeah. A good example is on the individual development plans. And every accreditor will look for it. Every ISO quality management system will look for it. Individual development plan is one of the, shall we say, primary tools that you can use to determine the needs of your faculty.
That's very nice. Individual development plan. Okay, so there's a tool that is distributed to each teacher and they need to fill it out. Am I right, sir? Okay, thank you. So that's it. I think we're able to answer all the questions here. Do you have, let's say, closing statement? Let's hear from our panelists. Just one or two sentences, please.
Okay.
Closing statement.
Sige, from my end, quality assurance is a journey, and it's a journey that should not be taken on your own. It's a journey with a community of other institutions and agencies that can help you. Just keep your mind open and enjoy the journey.
Thank you, Sir Rom. Let's hear from Janet.
For me, I think when we look at strong operations management, we need to be guided by sound policy and participatory governance. I think that's similar to what Doc Momo is mentioning, so that our schools are not just reactive. I'd like to go back to that quotation that I have posted earlier, the metaphor of a firefighter, the administrator as a firefighter. We cannot just simply put out fire every day, but we really need to be proactive and mission oriented.
It's 5 o'clock.
To be able to sustain the operations. Ma'am
It's
Bala,
very
no?
dangerous, Ma'am Ed. Ma'am Janet, it's very dangerous to put fire every day.
Oo nga, oo nga. Kaya nga no, as an administrator, our mental health is also important. We need to set boundaries also when our professional life and our personal life to keep our sanity. But again, the ground rule is set sound policy and participatory governance. You are not alone in this, administrators. You have your team. Consult and work as a team so that you will not be always reactive to the fires, quotation, no? The fires in the school. Be proactive and be mission oriented. Yun lang po.
Thank you, Ma'am Janet. From the voice naman of teachers.
Happy teachers. Kapag buo ang pagkatao ng mga teachers, masaya sila. They can do everything. We can do everything. That leads to happy students, happy administrators, happy stakeholders, happy school.
Thank you for your insightful contributions. Palakpakan po natin ang ating mga panelists. Okay, we actually have 152 participants. Thank you so much for your participation and engagement. Today's conversation reminded us that effective governance goes beyond policies. It is about systems that work, people who collaborate, and leaders who adapt. And as we continue building stronger schools, may we always aim for systems that empower and sustain quality education. Thank you, our dear panelists. Let's turn today's insights into action and keep the inspiration alive in our schools and communities. Thank you so much. I think we now proceed to raffle again with Ma'am Pauline and Miss Rachel. We actually have one last question here, pero parang nasagot na natin ito kanina. Thank you. Anyways. Yes, Miss Pauline, for the raffle.
Thank you so much po, Dr. Vanna, and to our esteemed panelists for sharing your valuable insights. So this session was truly amazing po. So engaging and of course full of valuable insights. So we are going to move on now to the second and final batch of raffle winners. So just a quick reminder again po, only participants who are currently in the meeting are eligible to win. And if a name is called and the person is not present, we will draw another winner. So let us now proceed with the raffle. So good luck, everyone. So for our fourth winner, congratulations po, Ma'am Marisa Mirano. Ma'am Marisa, dito po ba kayo? Mirano. Pa-click na lang po ang raise hand button. Ayan, I think po wala na po si Ma'am Marisa. Okay po. Sige po, we will call another winner na lang po. Again, for our fourth winner, congratulations po, Sister Irene Navarro Ferrer. Sister Irene. Ayun, congratulations po, Sister Irene. So don't forget po to email us your full name, contact number, GCash number, and your valid ID. For our fifth winner, congratulations po, Ma'am Maria Chona Arce. Maria Chona Arce. Are you here po on our meeting? Ayan, Miss Maria Chona Arce, congratulations po. And for our final winner, congratulations po, Ma'am Ruth Paragoso Sumage. Ma'am Ruth? Nandito po ba si Ma'am Ruth? Ayun. Congratulations po, Ma'am Ruth, and all the winners po
Yay!
for this
Nakompleto.
session. Thank you so much po.
Nakompleto din. That's it. Thank you so much to our participants for joining us this afternoon. Thank you so much, Sir Romel Momo, Ma'am Janet Fernandez, and Ma'am Edita Sagbi. Thank you for your brilliant ideas. I'm sure marami po tayong mga natulungan ng mga schools. Thank you. And Rex Education, thank you so much for this opportunity. And for the evaluation, please scan this QR code for the evaluation. Am I right, Miss Pauline?
Yes po. And we will also be sending po the URL on our chat box po. Thank you po.
Okay, please do not leave the session without answering the feedback form. Thank you. Congratulations to all of us.
Maraming salamat, Miss Vanna, Doc Momo, and Miss Edita. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and
Thank you,
congratulations.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. The VP Romel, thank you very much. Maraming salamat po.
Sir Levy, thank you also for the opportunity, sir.
We hope to have you again soon.
Sure, just let me know po anytime.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am Farah, Ma'am Janet, Ma'am Edita, that was a very polished and very rich session.
Thank
Woohoo.
you.
Sir
Galing,
Levy.
galing.
Thank you, Rex.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Vanna.
Thank you, everyone,
Pwede ka na
Ma'am
ba
Pal, and to those who
Thank you.
helped with this session. Maraming salamat po.
Pwede na ba akong fast talk?
Pwede na.
Pwede.
Galing ni Miss Vanna.
Fast talk lang kasi.
galing.
Pinipressure ko kayo sa oras. Dapat 5 tapos na tayo.
Oo.
I like more this setup, no? Because it's really engaging, and then we really listen to one another para wala nang redundant repetitions of
Oo.
what we're sharing. So
Yes,
very
that was-
nice. Very
That was
nice.
good. That was really good. Good
Ang
talaga.
galing. Parang Ma'am Janet, parang this is napaka-polished and parang everyone is so confident. Parang hindi parang
Ay, hindi nyo lang alam, sir. Ang meron namin.
And then magagaling naman talaga yung ating mga na-invite na panelists.
Yes.
Of course.
parang
Lahat naman po.
parang napaka-smooth.
Sir Levi, lahat sila magagaling. Super.
Ay, syempre.
Our salute.
Nandito
Oo,
po ba si
magaling.
Sir Giovanni?
We didn't take a picture yet, Miss Vanna.
Yeah.
Tanggalin natin yung
Sir
yung
Levy.
Sama
Ma'am
ako,
Pal,
sama
please
ako.
join us po. Ma'am
Yeah,
Pal, Sir Levy.
Gusto ko
Sir
namin
Romy, nandito po pa si Sir Rome?
Ano po si
before
Ron?
and after.
wala na tayong before and after eh. Kanina sa hindi na
Kanina po we plan to have a picture taking ng before our
tayo.
Sorry.
Lahat ng naandito.
Sir
Ano
Wong.
na lang ba ito? Ang naiwan ba technical team na lang ba? Wala nang participants?
Wala na, nasa mga
may-
panelists na ito, ma'am.
na-
Panelist na. Oh,
Kaya
sila
po pala.
parang nawala na si Doc mo.
Can you please call Sir Wong?
Naririnig pa daw tayo ng mga attendees, sabi ni ano, to our attendees, sana po huwag kayong magsawa. Hope to see you again soon.
There was
Yes.
there was a call, Sir Levy, for assistance. So I told them that there's a program actually for Rex, and then it's urgent. Sabi ko, email me na lang, and then I'll forward it to
Sige
the Rex rep na lang. They need urgent assistance na po. sabi ko kasi na raw, nag-apply na sila. They just wanted to look at the documents. Sabi ko, sige lang, I'll see what I can help with. But
Sige po.
ito course lang natin so the rep lang.
Yes,
Yun,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
very positive ang kanilang response to the session natin. So,
Mhm.
congratulations again.
Naririnig pa po tayo na
Ano tayo, no? Parang
naririnig pa tayo natin attend.